Hey everybody, welcome back to the Rock and Metal Guardian. I'm Dane, your host. Hope you're doing great wherever you may find yourselves. Blessings to all of you wonderful people out there. Today is another episode in my playlist or series called The Out of Print Files. But today I'll be talking about a book instead of a music CD or album, and that is Jim Bream's Whole Lotta Led Zeppelin, the illustrated history of the heaviest band of all time. And this came out in 2008. It's out of print, as I said, hence the playlist. And the back cover is this. This gives you a taste of what's inside, just a taste. As you can see, there are pictures of memorabilia in here, ticket stubs, posters from concerts. But there's a treasure trove of photos. Some you've seen before, some you've not. Some are different angles of photos you've not seen or you have seen before, that sort of thing. There's a ton of articles in here. That's the best part of this book. And you have articles from critics. You have articles from other musicians. You have a rundown of each album in the discography, a history behind it. It's all kinds of things. So there's memorabilia, there's tour dates, there's a ton of wonderful photos. There's articles about the band, each member. There's stuff dealing with the discography, one album at a time. Just a wonderful. So I'm going to walk you through much of this. This is going to be a quick video because I think that it's worth showing. So if you take the book jacket off, you get this. This has been through a lot, a couple hurricanes, that kind of thing. So I'm going to keep the dust jacket off. So when you open it first, this is the same as the back. You get this, as books are wont to do. See, this is the back. Now, it starts off, again, I'm not going to show you everything, but one of the first pages is, of course, this tragedy right here. Our history teacher in high school showed us the footage of that crash taking place. I was kind of traumatized by that. So here's a taste of one of the intro pages. You get the patches of Led Zeppelin and different quotes from other musicians like Richie Sambora, Kid Rock, Ray Davies of the Kinks, Steve Earle, Lenny Kravitz, Chris Robinson. So great quotes about how they are inspirational to them, or just inspirational, or what a great band, that kind of thing. And then you get some memorabilia, ticket stubs kind of thing, right, that many of us like. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but I do appreciate it. Here they got buttons, which I'm not going to show you. And then you get the credits. Jim Bream with his all-star cast, or if you will, of people who helped him put this book together. And there's the title page, if you will, so to speak. There's Jimmy in his dragon suit with his double SG, right? What a great photo. Showing off to Bonzo, right? You get a preface. Again, there's some wonderful photos here. This is called Liftoff. Early picture of the band. You know, there's Jimmy with the Yardbirds kind of thing. So things are just getting together, 1968 to 1969. We've all seen this photo where Robert Plant, he's it's hard to see, but his mouth's wide open and he's in the middle of saying something, I guess. Or about to. His hair's still short for the time. Okay. I love this next photo of them on the car. Oops. I think that's the street of New York. Don't quote me on that. You get an article called Jimmy Page the Alchemist. And that top single is She Just Satisfied. She Just Satisfies, a song that he did. Talks about, of course, him being the session musician, how he played on Kinks and other songs in this. So, again, wonderful stuff here. This is an introduction to Plant. You also have one on John Paul Jones and, of course, Bonzo, which I won't show you. Then you have an article on their manager, Peter Grant. And then you get going with the discography, one album at a time, called the LPs. And this is Led Zeppelin by Greg Kot. More memorabilia. It's a great photo of the band. I don't know why I need to stick my face in there, like Kilroy or something. So what's great, you don't get every album one after the other in the discussion. You get things that are interludes, like here you get Rambling On, 1969. So you get bits of history, articles that are about bits of history of the band between said albums. So it's chronological. So you're not going to go from album to album or period to period. You're going to have things in between that go with those years. Okay. I love these 2 pages. These are wonderful. This is just eye candy. You have A Taste of Decadence by Richard Cole with Richard Trudeau. This is a good, solid read. Again, there's lots to read in this book. Okay. If you like They Once Were Giants, which is a history, I'm not getting the title right. And then, of course, Hammer of the Gods, this is a must-have. And you can still find it used from third-party sellers. So then you get Led Zeppelin 2, an article about that. Yep. Then for 3, of course, you get all the tour dates for each, or most of them by year. Again, you got interludes of memorabilia. Then you get Behind the Board by Terry Manning and The Voice is Strong from Ann and Nancy Wilson. A really cool read. I need to reread this. I've read this book twice. Okay. Then you get Led Zeppelin 3, an article on that, more tour dates. Then you finally get to 1971, which has, of course, the Led Zeppelin 4 cover art in the top there. But it's not a discussion just of Led Zeppelin 4. That comes in a different article. Then you have an article by Peter Frampton. Okay, a very clever chap. Okay, so again, you have a lot of different musicians weighing in. The Wilson sisters, etc. Okay. Then you have, of course, Jimmy Page interest in Mr. Crowley. There's a great photo. Until I got this book, I had never seen this before, with Robert Plant and Page in the background. Okay. Then you get the LPs continued with Led Zeppelin 4, of course. More tour dates. Then you get an article about the grunge, sort of, called Where's That Confounded Bridge? Again, a time capsule of 72 to 73. Then John Bream himself weighs in with an article on Went Down to the Crossroads. Okay. Page's interest in the occult, again. Then another article by John Bream, Telling All of Your Lies, Plant and Page on Hammer of Their Gods. Them weighing in on that book, which was controversial because of the whole mud shark thing and what, so they have a rebuttal to that. An article on Houses of the Holy, then tour dates, see the pattern here. Then 74 to 75, Moving Through Kashmir. Great photo. Jimmy there. I'm assuming that's from Dazed and Confused. More photo. This is a great photo. This is a circus of the LA Queens dealing with the UFOs, the voidoids. It's not the voidoids, the groupies. And then there's this is one of my favorite photographs of Jimmy. I love that outfit and, of course, that Gibson that he's playing. This is a great photo of Jimmy being silly. And then you get a wonderful quote from Robert. It isn't just a musical thing that takes place, it's a rapport that takes it away from being an earthly thing to almost a little bit above it. This is where you go out on a limb and become King Arthur. Robert Plant quoted in Stephen Davis's Hammer of the Gods. This is a great photo as well. This is a nice section of the book, snapshots from the front row. And then you talk about Jimmy Page's guitar gear. Great article, by the way. And then, continuing in that vein, Jimmy as an older and wiser man with his shorter hair before it grays. Again, this is 2008. Then you get an article from William S. Burroughs called Uranium Willie and the Heavy Metal Kid, and Your Forgotten 1975 Talk with Jimmy Page, which I won't show you then, of course, have to talk about briefly Physical Graffiti. More tour dates. 1975, A Cry from the Depths. This is a great 2-page photo. I love the red. Mike Watt and the music, on the music, and Jonesy, Not Uptight, Not Freaked Out. Great article by Dennis Pernew and Mike Watt about the bass player. And then Neil Young interview. I'm sorry, not Neil Young. Forget that. This just is a poster. All right. If I played guitar, I'd be Jimmy Page by Ted Kubler, The Hold Steady. This is an article I've read, but I don't remember it very much. I'll have to reread that one. And then I love this part of the book as well. You get magazine covers. I used to go into K&B, a drugstore growing up, and read the Cream and Circus magazines because I couldn't afford to buy them every time they came out. Then you get an article on presents. And that obelisk. Let Me Take You to the Movies, 1976, another historical article dealing with The Song Remains the Same is what that refers to, of course, quoting from The Houses of the Holy, see how they connect. Then you've got a wonderful, I guess these are bootlegs and that sort of thing, album covers. And there's a couple more pages of this is, so I got to show you this. This is wonderful. Sorry, I'm peeking over at like Kilroy again to make sure it's at a good angle. There you go, some more of that. Then you get an article and The Song Remains the Same. An article on you get an article called Out Through the Outdoor, 1977, 1980. About the history of the band at the time. Of course, you've seen these photos before, but still, they're wonderful. And you get some posters, another shot of Jimmy. You get an article on In Through the Outdoor, some more tour dates, post-Zeppelin article called The Evermore. Of course, you get Live Aid. As much as people say that it was a disappointment from for Led Zeppelin, for them themselves, they said it was disappointing to the fans. I still enjoyed it. I'm a kid at this time. I'm in high school. I thought it was great. Okay, but what do I know? Okay, can't expect things to be perfect all the time. When you have, what does it say when Phil Collins and the drummer from Chic have to both play to get try to get the songs right? A little sidebar here, but I can't blame Phil. He did his best. So, Friends on Jimmy Page by Joe Perry, where he talks about early meetings with Jimmy, the albums, favorite Zeppelin tunes, friendship with Page. Really cool article. So there's a lot, folks, here to read, despite the fact that you get tons of pictures. There's an article on Coda. There's an article on how the West was won. I had no idea that these were culminated from 2 bootlegs. Then you get The Return of Led Zeppelin by David Frick, or Fricky. About the reunion, okay? It's about 4 pages long. Of course, there's a great photo of the band with John Bonham's son, Jason, on drums. I love this photo. Some photos from the reunion, if you will. And then Led Zeppelin Snapshots by Charles Shaw Murray. This is an article about snapshots from '69 through 2007. And then you get the acknowledgments page, and then a discography, and then the DVDs, discography, and then bibliography and contributor bibliographies, and a list of contributors to the book, and then of course the index, and then we're done. So this is the wonderful book that is Whole Lotta Led Zeppelin. For kicks and to see if you're interested, I went on Amazon and I saw that there were 2 or 3 copies for sale from third-party sellers. This was about a week ago. I don't know what condition they're in. Sorry, I didn't write it down. But if you can find some, this is not in mint condition either. For example, the upper corner is a dent in it from wear and tear, moving after a hurricane, that kind of thing, I guess. But it's close to mint, I guess. The dust jacket's a little dusty. But if you can get a copy of this, and I would say it's, good to near mint or mint, then get it. It's probably going to cost you a bit, but this is such a great, if you're a Zeppelin fan, this is a must-have. And of course, it's out of print, unfortunately. Maybe they'll reprint it, who knows, but I wanted to do this video for you Zeppelin fans out there who love Led Zeppelin like I do. This is a must-own book. Do your research, see if you can find it from other places. Anyway, take care. I'll see you next time. Bye now.